Do I need workers' compensation insurance? Yes, if you've even a single employee, then you need a workers' compensation insurance. In most U.S. states, employers are obliged by law to have workers' compensation insurance. Even in the states where there is no obligation for employers to have workers' compensation insurance, the employers should have workers' compensation insurance for their own benefit. If you don't have a workers' compensation insurance, then you'll be responsible to pay for damages incurred by an employee in the workplace administered by you. You can do everything possible for workplace safety, but you'll never be able to guarantee that there will be no workplace accident. For any business, paying for the damages can be harmful. Sometimes, damages can be millions. This can lead to shutting down any small business. Having a workers' compensation insurance is also a way to show your workers that you care about them. If you're competing with other companies to hire a certain employee that will be a good addition to your company, then not having a workers' compensation can make you less competitive. If your worker doesn't have money to recover from injuries, then you need to hire a new employee. A new employee is likely to be less effective than an experienced employee. An employer that doesn't have workers' compensation insurance will probably be sued by their injured worker with the help of a workers' compensation lawyer. Employers have a legal responsibility to their employees to make the workplace safe. However, accidents happen even when every reasonable safety measure has been taken. To protect employers from lawsuits resulting from workplace accidents and to provide medical care and compensation for lost income to employees hurt in workplace accidents, in almost every state, businesses are required to buy workers' compensation insurance. Workers' compensation insurance covers workers injured on the job, whether they're hurt on the workplace premises or elsewhere, or in auto accidents while on business. It also covers work-related illnesses. Workers' compensation provides payments to injured workers, without regard to who was at fault in the accident, for time lost from work and for medical and rehabilitation services. It also provides death benefits to surviving spouses and dependents. Each state has different laws governing the amount and duration of lost income benefits, the provision of medical and rehabilitation services, and how the system is administered. For example, in most states, there are regulations that cover whether the worker or employer can choose the doctor who treats the injuries and how disputes about benefits are resolved. Workers' compensation insurance must be bought as a separate policy. Although in-home business and business owners policies (BOPs) are sold as package policies, they don't include coverage for workers' injuries. According to law, if you are the only one owner of business and don't have any employee, you are not obliged to have workers' compensation insurance. New York. If you thought that this type of insurance is obligatory in New York even for operators who have no employees, be calm. Is workers' compensation insurance required in New York? Law requires that employers who work in New York should have worker compensation insurance with some exceptions. Employers should receive and save the effect of worker compensation for all workers, even for those who work half-time and for family members who use the service of company. According to law, every businessman who does his business in New York has to provide his workers with worker compensation insurance. This requirement is very precise and peremptory for all businessmen who do their business and have employees. What is interesting, that half-time workers and employers' members of family also have the obligatory right for worker compensation insurance. NY. The law specially emphasizes on the obligatory worker compensation insurance for employers' family members.